How do I... Hey YouTube, it's been a minute, but that's a good thing. It's been like months, near years since my last upload, probably. And that's because Taylor and I have been together, which has been awesome. We've been exploring the world, having a blast, but now she's away again and I'm back on YouTube. It's just a super slow Saturday. Slow because I decided it was going to be. And on this episode, we are throwing away our standards. I have worked super hard to do things the right way on the Corvair since I got the thing. And whatever money I put into this particular project isn't going to produce a whole lot of return. So, without further ado, we're going to turn this into a parcel shelf. What's a parcel shelf, you might ask? Well, okay, so the parcel shelf. You're driving to the store, getting your parcels. You don't want to throw them in the trunk like a barbarian. You put them in the parcel shelf, which is this space behind the back seat and in front of the firewall here. Originally in the Corvair, this was about 6 inches deep worth of cardboard. Obviously, not great for durability. It was gone, who knows, 20, 30, 60 years ago. And it acted as insulation and as a shelf. I have added some insulation here to help with road noise, etc. But now I need a place to put some speakers. There's the wiring over there in the back. So the goal is to have the shelf come up to about here, scientifically here, and span this gap. I'll have a place to mount speakers, throw my parcels, etc. Oh, that must have just happened overnight. Weird. So this is my freaking sweet custom parcel shelf template. So it's got all kinds of weird curves and notches and everything to make it fit. My goal is to put these super cheap Kenwood speakers into it, so I have rear sound. That was not an option in the Corvair. It came with one speaker and an AM radio, and that was all you could get at the time. But now it's got Bluetooth and AM, FM, satellite if you wanted to. I'm not paying for that. 2 speakers in the front, 2 speakers potentially in the rear if I get this right. And you're supposed to build anything that you want to put speakers in with MDF, medium density foam, because it has better acoustic qualities. Not the equivalent of IKEA shelving, which is really hard. It's gonna vibrate and stuff. But I'm not putting out a whole lot of power. The unit I have in the stereo unit puts out, I think, 17 RMS watts, which is barely enough to power these super cheap speakers. So I can afford to cut a corner, I suppose. The alternative is spending $300 on amplifier and then routing all the wires again, and MDF here in Germany is wicked expensive. So yeah, $56 for a piece of wood that's not large enough to cover the rear of the vehicle. Anyways, I'm going to throw this template down onto that piece of IKEA stuff. It's not really from IKEA. I got it from Home Depot. And we'll do 3,000 test fits. It's now fitting nicely, so I can now look at speaker placement. Those are just the grills for the speakers resting on top of the shelf, and that's not the final resting place of the shelf either. I'm just determining the spacing between the speakers and the size of the car, etc. So Kenwood is nice enough to include a template on the back of the box. Outer ring showing where the speaker is going to mount. Plus, you can pull out the inner diameter of that template so you can see what kind of backspace this speaker has and what kind of clearance you'll need. So I'm more interested in this. I will mark the center of where I want the speaker, trace my template, and then I can drop these right in. My holes are centered and traced exactly where I want them. So the next step is cutting those out. And there's a few ways you can do that, but based on the tools I have available, I'm going to take a large drill bit, drill in so that it is tangential, word of the video, to the outer diameter there with the drill bit on the inside. And then from there, I can take my jigsaw and cut out the remainder of the hole. Edges are finished, and while it's out of the car, I'm going to drill my pilot holes for the speakers while everything's accessible. We are back in the car, and I apologize for the poor cameramanship. I just need 4 hands to show you this. But what I want is for the shelf to sit up against that edge here, which means some support slabs underneath. And to measure that, I simply held the shelf in position and used the speaker hole to measure the distance from the bottom of the shelf to the insulated surface underneath. If you're looking at putting in some deeper speakers, the most you could really afford here is probably 4 inches deep if you top mount the speaker. Anyways, I'm going to wedge these things underneath and show you the results. Okay, the razors, as I am now calling them, are in. From here, I'm going to take out the whole thing, throw in some pocket holes so I don't have any hardware on the top, and screw it all together. However, the lazy side of me doesn't want to do that because it's so secure in here. It's just not going anywhere. So here it is, completely assembled with risers, with pocket hole screws that are in the dark. Let's try this side. Also in the trick. You're out of luck. Anyways, I also had some foam to go between the speakers and the shelf itself. Now it's time to wedge the thing into the car, which I'm pretty sure will be impossible. So something very strange has happened in that this actually worked. It doesn't usually happen the first time I work on a project. But it went in with the help of a 4-pound sledgehammer. Time to install some speakers. Fortunately, I was smart enough like a year ago to mark which wires were which when I routed them back to the rear speakers. So it was as simple as looking at my tags, plugging them in, and now I have a 4-speaker system, which is cool because I've been dreaming of this since I got the car in 2013. Just never got around to non-mechanical things. So now I guess I'm road trip ready.